Welcome to Mont St Anne for the Women's Grundig Cross Country World Cup. We're straight into the action with a small field of 39 women lined up for the start of this relatively short 29.2 kilometre, 4.2 lap race. Weather conditions were just as good as they had been for the downhill racing that had occurred the day before. Hot and dry, if a little overcast. Like Mount Snow in the previous round, Mont St Anne has 1,500 feet of climbing per lap, but unlike the American course, the climbing at Mont St Anne comes in smaller chunks rather than the one big climb. It is also less technical and a lot faster. Immediately after the opening start loop, pre-race favourite and Grundig World Cup leader, indicated by her blue jersey, Italian Gary Fisher rider Paola Pezzo flew into the lead. On the opening climb out of the start loop, she had opened a gap of 30 metres on Trek VW rider Chantal Decour, with Volvo Cannondale rider Alison Seidel 15 metres further back. With the lead motorbike warning spectators of the approach of the head of the race, Paola Pezzo began to apply the sort of pressure early on in the event as she had done in winning 4 of the 6 previous World Cup races. The other 2 races, she comes second. Not a bad record, really. Looking so comfortable and smooth on the bike, Pezzo was already pulling away from the Swiss second-place rider Chantal Decour. The 2-time European champion and bronze medalist in the 1995 World Championships, Decour was trying desperately to hang on to the fast disappearing Italian. And the Canadian Alison Seidel was doing likewise, trying to hang on to the wheels of Decour. After her fabulous season in 1996 when she won both the World Cup and the World Championships, first in women's mountain biking, Seidel had been having problems trying to hold her own with the fresher Italian. And it was obvious in the way Pezzo was climbing that this was certainly the case. Decour, despite her efforts, was trying just as gamely to hang on to the Italian. All season, Seidel has looked as though her battle to keep the Italian in sight has been one that has sapped her strength. She has looked and sounded just plain knackered. World champion from 1994 to 1996, Seidel was just a shadow of her former self at Mont St Anne. An extremely competent technical rider with bags of endurance, Pezzo breezed over the gnarly, rooty descents as though they weren't there. In 1996, Pezzo had stated that she only had one goal, gold in the Olympic mountain bike race, a feat she duly achieved. At the beginning of the 97 season, she stated that her goal this year would be the World Cup, something she had never won before. Third in 1992 being her highest placing in the World Cup, Decour was having major problems with the descent that Pezzo breezed over. She was nowhere near as fluid as the Italian. Although looking fairly competent on the descent, Seidel too appeared to be overawed by it in comparison to Pezzo, but slightly more comfortable than the Swiss rider Decour. By the time Pezzo had reached the feed zone on the 3rd of the 4 laps, she had a remarkable gap of just under 4 minutes, with a lap and a half to go on second-place rider Chantal Decour. Meanwhile, further down the field, American powerbar rider Ruthie Mathis was taking the notorious rooty descent in a rather haphazard manner in order to stay in touch with Seidel. She was 25 seconds at this point behind the Canadian. Italian Bianchi Martini rider Nadia De Negri came through next in 5th. In her first year of World Cup competition, this former Italian walking champion was obviously having difficulties with the severity of the descents, so she was walking. Behind her, former Russian road racer Alla Epifanova was coping a little better, no doubt due to her 1 extra year's experience on the World Cup scene. On the last of the 4 laps, Pezzo was continuing to extend her lead over all of her rivals. Closest anyone had come to Pezzo in her 4 previous victories was in the 5th round of the World Cup in Budapest, when Britain's Caroline Alexander got within 39 seconds of the Italian. In fact, by winning her first ever Grundig World Cup race, Alexander inflicted the first defeat of the season on Pezzo in round 3 of the World Cup at St Wendel in Germany. Decor was riding out of her skin in a very comfortable second place and was heading for a possible best World Cup result for a staggering 5 years. In third, over 2 minutes further back, the defending World Cup champion was trying desperately to solidify third spot. With Mathis only 40 seconds down, Seidel could not afford to make any mistakes. But the 1993 world champion, 94 and 96 European champion and first ever Olympic mountain bike gold medalist was clearly intent on driving her rivals into the Canadian soil.
Go, let's go! All right, Paula.
No matter what Trek VW rider Chantal Decor did, she simply could not make any impression on the lead that Petso was carving out for herself.
Go. Way to go.
The attempt to do so was evident to everyone at the side of the course. And to no one's great surprise, it was the familiar blue jersey figure of Paolo Petso who entered the finish area to the applause of the 12,000 strong crowd. Crossing herself as she freewheeled towards the line, the Italian was to take her 5th World Cup victory of the season in a time of 1 hour, 44 minutes and 8 seconds. She looked more like she'd just come in from an easy training ride than completed a World Cup race. The second rider to hove into view was indeed Chantal Decor. Looking like she'd just won the lottery, this bubbly, warm personality was obviously delighted with her best ever World Cup result since she won round 7 at Mount Snow in 1992. She was, however, a massive 5 minutes, 28 seconds behind Petso. Seidel had managed to hang on to third spot, 55 seconds in front of Ruthie Mathis, but she was almost 3 minutes down on Decor in second, an unbelievable 8 minutes 11 seconds behind Petso. But the unflustered victor shared her thoughts with us after the race. She said, "It was the most deserved of my victories. I'm very happy. I can look forward to the finals of the World Cup feeling relaxed now." So the final result, Petso first in 1 hour, 44 minutes and 8 seconds. Decor second at 5:28. Seidel third at 8:11. Mathis fourth at 8:55. And Epifanova, the Russian, a massive 12 minutes back in 5th place. Petso retained her lead over in the...